Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Satisfactory. I'm Max Involved, and today, you might notice it looks a little different, very slightly, but trust me, it actually looks a lot different. And we're going to kind of get into all that. I had promised some starter factory action, so that's what we're going to do today. But before I get started, do me a quick favor, scroll down just a little bit, hit that subscribe button. We are just exploding towards my 1,000 subscriber goal. And I just can't thank you all enough. And so with that all the way, let's hop right into this. And I have to start here, and not with anything in particular, but with all of these kind of steps that I've unlocked either on stream or in between episodes. It was nothing crazy, I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't go out and make a giant oil plant and do all this and that. No. I went over here, and I scrolled down, and I bought plastic with tickets. I'll admit it, I did that. All with tickets. But I did it so that we would have access to a lot of good things, right? We needed our oil stuff. We needed logistics Mark IV, although I bought rubber for this one, just so you know. We needed fluid packaging. I wanted a jetpack. I've literally never had any of this stuff. And, we want to work our way to this. Tier 6, we know I got that. I showed you guys that in the last episode, right? So, what did I do with all this, though? Well, these are instrumental for a couple different... All these things that I unlocked, they've already started fitting into different parts of this build, and they're going to ultimately help us kind of get this starter factory actually built and producing things. So let's go to the first location, and if you're, a Satisfactory kind of connoisseur, you might know where I'm going to head with this. So how about you guys just meet me over there? And we're going to come sliding in here, and some of you may know this place as the Blue Crater Lake. And you'll notice we've got a little setup going over here. What the heck is all this stuff? Well, you know what? Let me show you, right? So I realized I was going to need oil-based products, right? And so what I did is we got some oil nodes over here, and I made just a little tiny factory here, right? So you see, we've got our oil extractors going into a rubber factory. Just standard rubber recipe using crude oil, making heavy oil residue and rubber. And over here, we have a plastic factory, right? And I did this, slapped some dimensional depots down, but now, well, we're not producing that much. I mean, let's be honest. In fact, it's not even flowing right now. And you might wonder why it's not flowing. Well, that has to do with these pipes right here, because all I did was basically just throw everything into a bunch of fluid buffers, but that heavy oil residue is being used for the most part right over here because I'm making smokeless powder. Now, what do I need smokeless powder for, you ask? Oh, well, that's easy. This guy. Now, when we're exploring, I think, there's some guys like right over here, whatever. All right. Looks like we're actually pretty clear, but I can just take them out if I need to, right? So we're safer, and that's kind of all this thing was doing. This is literally just making the smokeless powder, throwing it in a dimensional depot, and that was allowing me to make rifle and rifle ammo. And you see I got a little MAM here. We go through the sulfur tree, and I literally just researched this right here, the rifle. We're starting to get into areas that are a lot scarier, and I wanted to be able to defend myself, to be perfectly honest. So that's what I did. And we're going to have a few more things. Now that I actually have that stuff unlocked, all the smokeless powder, this and that, I can get the explosive rebar. I can work my way to the turbo fuel and do all that, right? We can work our way through this tree and kind of defend ourselves. This is going to be a fun one, too. I think I could probably actually get this right now if I wanted to, but, we'll save that, right? So this is really all I did for oil. I just made rubber, plastic, threw them in dimensional depots, and now I have them in my thing here, and I can just grab it as I need. You see I got some rubber, I got some plastic, but that's not all I did. Some of you might notice that I have some stuff over here that might be of particular interest, and well, all that's back at the power plant. So let's go over there and see what happened there, because spoiler alert, some stuff happened. And any visit to the power plant is not complete without checking on chat, right? Look, and Twitch chat coming through. Fused modular frames. I'm sure I'll find a use for those. And you know what? YouTube chat, thanks a lot. I love quick wire. I love it all. But yeah, so this is where a lot of stuff happened. And, you know, I think the looks are pretty similar, but you might notice we kind of push the decor out a little bit. I got to kind of still add on to a little bit, but there's a whole structure right over there now. And we'll get there, trust me. But, you know, we got to kind of take a look at some stuff first. And it all starts down here, right? You'll notice that everything down here has a blue light. Why is that, you might ask? Well, we overclocked. So let's take a look at the power real quick. Bring a line down here. You'll notice that we're at 3,600 megawatts, but you might be thinking, how did you get that? I don't see any new buildings. Well, I mean, I see some new buildings, but no power infrastructure. And that's right. I had talked earlier about overclocking everything. So that's what I did. And I'll show you how I got this, but I have about, I don't know, 300-400 power shards now. And really, I just slapped a power shard in every single machine involved in the process. And so what that did, if we go up and take a look at the generators, that makes it so that we're not getting 112.5 megawatts out of each generator. And with power shards, I didn't have to change anything about the setup, right? I had built it to scale and scale with power shards, right? So now we have 112.5 times 32 generators. Boom, 3,600 power per second. And that's a nice addition. Now, you might be asking, well, why did you go one power shard, right? Why not go more than one power shard? And really, that limitation has to do with water, right? So, I believe off the top of my head, if you do, well, let's see. So, normally, a power or a water extractor does 120, right? In fact, I wonder if I can. Wow. Oh, I didn't know you could do that. I just wanted to look at water. Okay. Or actually, yeah, okay. So 120 from a water extractor. Well, if you times that by 50%, you get 180, right? That's one power shard. If you multiply it by 2, well, that's 240. And if you do 240 times 3, that's 720. You might notice that as being 120 more than a Mark II pipe can carry. So that's in order to not have to create a whole second pipeline for each set of generators. I chose not to go up that high. I mean, I could probably play around to where each water extractor is outputting 200 water and then fiddle with the coal extractors so that they're putting out, you know, whatever they need to put out, you know. I don't even know how much, but you know, maybe they're all given 202 or whatever, right? If I feel the need to do that, maybe we'll do that, but honestly, I don't see myself doing that. So that's why we just stuck to one power shard, and everything is overclocked. So everything else I did is right up here. Now, I told you guys that I was going to do this. I told you I was going to connect up to our little backup factory over here. I don't actually remember if I showed this in the last episode, but yeah, let's go take a look at the power backup. This area has a multitude of uses. So we got some design in here now, right? So this is the factory floor, kind of open concept. I really like the idea of using the glass ceiling for the roof, and we got the walkways, and you'll notice that we kind of have a couple different areas going on, right? We got our battery backups. That's only 900 megawatts. It should be enough to power the factory back on if we need to. But yeah, again, we have our biomass burners here, and you'll notice last time, I think I did show this before, right? This facility is set to process animal parts and biomass, right? Like leaves and wood and stuff, right? And you'll see I've even got some animal parts in here. That was all handled over here, and that's still in place. But what I ended up doing for these, you'll notice I threw some summer sloops in. So each one of these has summer sloops, right? And So these are all making animal protein. Those come up here, summer slooped again, make alien DNA capsules. Because that's really all I'm going to use this for, right? And if I look, I mean, 78 coupons, and it's really all from this. I've made so many. So we're getting pretty good on the coupons, right? But let me take a minute and kind of just like show off the design here. So I had showed this part, right? Where I did this wall right here. And I added on, you know, just a little bit. It's not much. It's kind of hard to do these kind of designs on the 45s. So I just kind of, you know, made this thing and then made a little walkway and had this connection, I guess. And then kind of filled this in, threw some lights down, but, you know, nothing special in here. This is all just the logistics of it. I may throw in more lights or something. I don't know. But then over here, there's one more area that we haven't got to. And, you know, just kind of giving you more shots of the inside. And that's right over this way. Little outside bridge here where you can kind of see everything. And you'll notice, in fact, let's go back and look. Sorry, I know I keep teasing this, right? But you notice all this biomass. Priority is the biomass burners, right? In the world where we need them. But that is a smart splitter, and an overflow goes around and up across this little bridge right here into, and there it is right there. You see that little bridge is going over into our liquid biofuel little factory, right? And so we got a water extractor out there that's bringing in water. And here in this refinery, we're just taking water, solid biofuel, making liquid biofuel. That is being run over here to this packager. And what I did is I just made a bunch of empty canisters just with plastic in a summer slooped constructor back at base. And I just hand put them in here, right? This is so much, right? And that all feeds into this, which is all full, right? So all of this liquid biofuel, or I guess it's packaged liquid biofuel, it just go into a dimensional depot that I just grab out when I need fuel for my jetpack. And packaged liquid biofuel is one of the best. I mean, it gives you the most raw flight time, I guess I can say, right? And if you just kind of tap it, you know, you can stay airborne for a long time on one packaging, right? I mean, like, look at this. I'm not even halfway through and I haven't touched the ground yet, you know? So that's why I really wanted to get that. Hypothetically, you could also use that to fuel vehicles. But I didn't like that idea because this is a hand-fed system, right? And I can walk around a little bit more too to kind of show off the design here a little bit. It's nothing special, you know. I got a little crafting bench there. I really wanted to feel like its own little separate area. I'm still working on this setup right here, this stairwell that I'm going to eventually connect down to there. So it's just kind of one big area, you know what I mean? But yeah. So now we're rocking, 3,600. I think it'll show more capacity, but 3,600 power from all our coal generators to start with the starter factory. So I've done a little bit of other work as well. So let's kind of take a look at the prep work before we start actually building the factory. And as I'm kind of flying through the world here, you can kind of get a sense of what I did, right? I talked about how I wanted to kind of merge lines, especially since there's so many impure lines out here. And here's like a perfect example of where I did that, right? So this whole area is basically all impure lines. So I've got, 2 there, I've got 4 there, and I've got 2 there. So 8 impure lines. Well, 8 times 60, oh, that's 480, right? So I have some Mark III belts coalescing onto one Mark IV belt right here. Out in this direction, we have, this is kind of like a multi-element highway right here. These are 2, I believe they're normal copper nodes. Let's take a look here. Oh no, these are impure also. So 2 impure copper nodes, which, makes a 120 line. And then we have Caterium right over there. So that's where all that's coming from. But all of this is just merging or meandering back to the base. The main base over there, which you can see kind of looks a little bit different, right? But it's all coming over there. And I haven't quite merged the lines from over there yet. And I haven't done the concrete. But we got a lot of iron. I have to get the coal, or the copper figured out. Here, can I get up here? Oh, I can do it. Nice. And yeah, so it's all coming in, you know, kind of splitting off to wherever it needs to go. This right here is its own dedicated 480 line of iron going into here. And I'm trying to do kind of like similar designs, but also different designs, right? So like this one, this is the copper line, you know, and it's got its own little thing right here. And this one actually merges with the copper lines from over here. So two normal copper nodes, right? So there's one right outside the base, right outside that door. And there's one, actually, you saw the bridge in the opening. That was kind of in the distance. That bridge right there. So there's a copper node right over there. And there's this one, and they all merge into one copper belt, right? Which is a 360 line. So that's why I have those three inputs right there. So we're pretty much, from an iron and copper perspective, we're pretty solid on getting the resources back to the base. I do need to power everything up in terms of running lines, power lines, but you can see I've kind of made a bunch of the smelters, right? So I have 1, 2, 3 sets of smelters for iron and some smelters for the copper lines, right? And I did a little bit more decorating here too. I knew you guys would want to see that, and I'm trying out this lighting and the moth clipping through the base. That's kind of cool too. But yeah, a couple of things I'm trying out. I'm debating on how much I like that right there, the blue light. It's a little tricky to get it, you know, going along the corner here. This part would be no problem, but I don't have a ton of quartz. I mean, that's kind of a limitation there, but I think it looks kind of cool. I don't know how well you can see it from out here though. I haven't actually really looked. Oh, actually from the right angle, I think that looks super cool. Oh man, that's super nice. And I want you might have seen it already. You know, I really like these hexagon windows. And so I kind of went ahead and made a bigger version of this. And yeah, I think it looks pretty cool. That's all just painted beams. Yeah, so that's kind of, I kind of needed a little expansion for another iron area. So I went ahead and did this. In fact, I can get rid of those. And it's looking like it's just kind of being held up on these big beams here. I'll probably move this one actually. Yeah, let's move this while I'm here. So let's put it right, I don't know, right there. We'll just zoop that down. That one's fine there for now. But yeah, so that's kind of the design, and this is actually a blueprint, which you might have like noticed as I was kind of panning around here. But this is the blueprint I'm using to make that whole thing. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty easy. I'll link a video in the description, and if I forget, just yell at me in the comments, of the guy who I saw who kind of showed me how to do this. His name's Maker Gaming. Really easy tutorial to follow, and you know, you can do a lot of cool things with this, like take these concrete pillars, you know, you just kind of, or let me put it on default, right? So you kind of do that, and you just kind of delete the outsides. And you can kind of just keep doing that, you know? And they all will end up lining up all like nice and perfectly. Now, for these kind of things, it really helps if you have a foundation kind of hiding it, because the gaps get kind of a pain in the ass, if I'm being honest. But yeah, you can just kind of keep doing this, you know, and then And then you get these really nice, the way it's all set up, like everything lines up. And you see those little dots right there? Everything just kind of really works together pretty well. You know, so it's a little finicky to kind of aim in the right spot, but you know, once you do it, you just kind of make it work. And then again, what I did over there, if I was going to do this method, I'd put up another wall to kind of cover up that clipping. But if you have, you know, if you're kind of tiling this and you do this, and then you kind of just do that guy, you know, I'll leave that one up, right? But you see, it really comes together at a really nice point. So that, you know, that's just something else I was thinking about doing, and I haven't really got around to doing. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how this design over here kind of evolves in the future. And you know, we still got a lot more base to decorate. So yeah, I'm gonna run some of these power lines so we can. I mean, I have these power lines, but they're not hooked up to the grid yet. And I need to get power out to all the miners so we get resources actually coming in. And yeah, so let's do that so that we can start smelting while we start planning out like what we're actually going to build. All right, so we have the first layer going up. Yes. Yeah, there we go. Okay, nice. Okay, so now I need to power up these guys down here. And I think what I'm going to do... See, I got a power pole there. I'm trying to think of like I'm probably going to end up having to redo all this power. But I think for now... we can just kind of bring this down. Maybe like right there. And I'll just kind of throw power poles where necessary. Especially because we got to kind of come out here. Let's maybe go there. Maybe we'll go like right there. See, you two, and then I need to come over this way. You know, all the fun stuff. And then I think I got to go up, huh? This has been the concrete factory that's just been supporting me basically while I've been trying to build all this stuff. Let's go right here with it. Yeah, we can leave that. Let me get up there real quick. All right, so we should have all the iron. Is this stuff running over here? This copper and some of the copper. Okay, so I need to power up this copper, but we're not super concerned with copper right now. But let's get back in here and go through this wall and get our pieces going. All right, so it looks like we are smelting on these two. I haven't hooked this one up yet because I don't think we need it quite yet. And this is 960 iron per minute, right? I'm gonna have to move these power lines eventually. In fact, I don't think I need them right this second either, because the weapons factory is doing fine. Right, so we'll get that all figured out later. I'm probably going to end up running, you know, if I end up keeping this as the outer wall, this line right here, I'll probably end up putting these kind of attached to the walls, or maybe like a little bit farther out on the outside, so that we can kind of work from there. Okay, so now let's look at plates. So plates are 1-to-1 in the sense that they take one smelter's worth of output to make plates. If we look at motor, because that's kind of the pinnacle here, this is mostly pipes and wire. I can make rotors and stators with pipes and wire. So I need to kind of plan this from, I think I'm going to plan this from this back, right? It looks like I need 10 per minute to get 5 per minute, right? So if I want to double this, I need 20 rotors, 20 stators per minute. right? So if let's make a list here, right? So 10 motors a minute needs 20 rotor slash stator per minute. Here, maybe I'll do this. 10 per minute motor. Okay, so even though we're going to end up needing a bunch of stuff, and this is kind of going to be all of our building supplies, I want to start with the motor. I just want to get motors online. I think that'll be the goal for this episode. We kind of got everything running, and then we'll get motors going. Okay, so we're going to want... We need to make two things in here. We need to make iron pipes, right? And we need to make iron... Well, I guess we do have some copper. Maybe it's just worth it, because copper we're only really using for copper sheets. So, okay, so I have these two lines. They should feed pretty evenly, and then I'll get it all online. Okay, so we have plenty of copper. Okay, so then I'll just use this for... I mean, yeah, that should be enough. I'm gonna need wire and cable anyway. Wire, cable, copper sheets. That's all we're really using the copper for at this point. So we'll start with the iron pipes, and I think we're gonna need 40 of these. Or we're gonna we're gonna need 100, right? Because if we also look at an assembler here. In order to make 20 stators per minute, right? If I need 15 times 4, which is 60. And then for the rotors, I need 20 or 5 times, no. Yeah, 10 times 4, which is 40. So I need 100 total. So that's actually really nice, because that means that, where do I have this outputting? Let's get rid of that. I'm going to need 400 iron ingots per minute. Oh boy. Okay. So that's like a whole one of these. That's fine. That's fine. Here, I already have 480. So what I can do... Yeah, maybe I'll just do this. Maybe I will... Let's do a floor hole. Sorry, I want logistics. Let's do a floor hole. Just like that. That way, it's not really going to matter where we kind of set this up. But I want to give it some space. Maybe 2 tiles, and we'll start it right here. So we're going to do 4 constructors. Okay, and then we'll use 40 belts for this part. But then I'll go down to Mark 3s. Not super necessary. I can even do Mark 2s, honestly, but I don't have a lot of the plates on me. Okay, so then this will be all the steel pipes. And we're going to kind of have to do like a little crisscross here, because if I look again at... Here, I'm just going to build 2 of these. So let's say we have stators here and steel rotors here. Okay, so this is, again, we need 20 of these. So 30 times 4 is 120 here. Let me write this down. Okay, so 20 per minute rotor is 120 wire per minute, or 120 per minute wire. And then, what did we say? 40 per minute steel pipe. 40 per minute pipe. And then for stator, it's going to be, okay, so 160. Stator is going to be 160 per minute wire. And 60 per minute pipe. Okay, so we're gonna almost kind of have like a I don't even know what you call this, like a crisscross. like Because I was like, all the pipes are going to just go down one way, and all the wires going to go down another way. I think it'll be kind of cool. We can kind of make that work, right? So we need, let's see, what is that? 280 wire per minute. 280 divided by 30 is 9 and change. Okay. So, well, okay, hold on. So I can either use iron wire. No, we're going to use this, right? Okay, so that's not bad. That's not bad. We'll need... Okay, so what was it? 280 divided by 30 is 9.3333. Okay, so 9.333333 times 15 is 140 inbound, which means we need... I guess we might as well just take both of these. Okay, that's fine. And I think by having all of the inputs go down onto the bottom level, we can kind of put this stuff wherever we need to, wherever it kind of makes sense, right? Okay, so let's give ourselves like one tile right there. And I guess I'll build 10 of them. Okay, so pretty simple input, right? I lined up this row of constructors with that. And we're going to have the input coming from over here. And, you know, just splitting off as needed. And then it's going to wrap around and go into the backside over here, right? So input on the outside, output on the inside. And I have this one outputting this way and the pipes outputting that way, right? And they'll just kind of loop around and we'll build our 8 assemblers over here. So I guess we'll use this foundation line right here. And we'll just do 8 of these. Was it right about there? In one more? Maybe half? Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so we need 8 of these. 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and that should give us enough room, like I mentioned. So we're going to do kind of a very simple thing, right? We're going to kind of go. Let's see, one's going to be coming from this way. One's going to be coming from this way. Hold on. I think I want the wire coming in on the bottom level and the pipes to come in on the top level. Because I've already got some verticality over here. So to have this come over and then pop up, I don't know, that just feels kind of weird to me. Yeah. And I'm debating, actually. Well, I think I kind of like this idea. I like using lifts whenever I can. Okay, so now everything is at least wired up. Now we have to do the last part, which is just the motors. And that's luckily pretty easy. And I'll just kind of... I'm just going to literally center it on... I don't want the holes to line up. I want the body to line up here. What do we think? Right. Do I want this here? Well, I should probably... Let me think. All the items are going to come down. Maybe I'll face it this way. Just to kind of look different. Maybe like somewhere in the middle. Because this is only going to split once, right? I'm going to have 2 of these going in one way, 2 of these going in another. Yeah, maybe I'll just come down here. We'll just go here. We'll just kind of plop it down. Right there. 1, 2. I could do that, or I could have Well, no. I don't need to be slamming all my power, right? So boom, just like that. And then we'll bring this over. And we'll go here. Trying to keep the power poles as neat as possible. Alright, so then we'll just need a splitter. Let's see, one here. And then one a little bit farther back. I'm gonna do it a little different on this one. Let me think here. So I'm gonna have this, right? I guess I could just do this. No, let me leave some room. I don't know if that works. Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Because I need room for these outputs. Although I guess they probably output just fine. Yeah, this is one of the issues I ran into. They're like all half a block off. Kind of just a pain, man. So I gotta go line them up. I gotta hold it, control, line it up. But we're not using, I mean, this isn't outputting very much, so not a big deal. And then we'll just have you go right in there. And then that will be done. And then for you, I mean, maybe I could just kind of move these closer. You know what I mean? Something like that. Something like that. And now I can do this. And I'll just do that. I'm doing it this way because I want to leave room for any potential expansion, right? And then all we have to do, merge this out, going this way. Okay, let's get that right. And then I'm gonna put an industrial storage container. What am I looking for? Organization, industrial storage. I don't know, somewhere like right there. And then do I have... I don't. I need that. That's fine. Okay, let's at least hook up the belts down below, and let's see this thing kind of kick off after I hook this up right here. Whoops. All right, and now the fun part is trying to figure out what goes where. So I believe this is the iron. I'm just gonna act as if it is the iron. Or here, let me do something like that. And we'll just kind of, you know, nothing special, right? Just kind of do that number. And then this should be the copper. Maybe I should go this way. I wonder if that would reach. Okay, I see the copper ingots flowing. All right, let's get upstairs and take a look. And again, while we're getting up there, I'll talk about why I'm going with motors first. Motors are so important for the later game. And look at that. Oh my gosh, we have pipes flowing. I see pipes. Do we have wire? I see wire flowing. Do we have all these little pieces? Now, this might take a little bit to saturate, you know? But, I mean, we got the stuff. So, anyway, Motors are super, super important for basically the rest of the game because a lot of machinery uses motors, right? So we're just kind of going through the production here. Refineries use 10 motors each. Packagers don't, but I believe the manufacturers use motors, right? Oil extractors, motors. I don't know if anything over here does. Yeah, pumps, motors, right? I wonder if the water extractors use motors. Trucks use motors. This uses motors, you know? It's like there's just kind of all over the place. So while 10 a minute isn't a lot necessarily, it is enough to kind of satiate, hopefully, what we need. Now, I have a bunch of motors already built up. We see our first, well, one of the first stators. So we're waiting on rotors. Any rotors? Are you the first rotors? Yes. There's a rotor. I wonder where it's going to go. I bet there's a rotor in here. No. That was the first rotor. What are we waiting on? I'm wondering if it's this. Like, I'm wondering if this doesn't have enough. It should work itself out. Yeah, I mean, you're Mark 3. And oh, no. Oh, my God. I was confused for a second. I was like, why is there copper going this way? You know what? I'm going to make this all Mark 4. I'm just going to make that Mark 4. Yeah, let me go downstairs and make it Mark 4. It couldn't hurt, you know. I think we're at less than that, but just for the sake of... And then we shouldn't need Mark 4 on this side. Probably didn't even need to do that, honestly. Oh, hold on. That's green. That's green. Motors? Yes, there we go. There we go. Look at that. At least one of the first motors. And it immediately goes to the depot. Yeah. Okay, guys. I think we're going to call it here. This is a huge, huge step. It looks actually like pretty big considering we're only making 10 motors per minute. I will probably do a little bit here and there in between episodes. So if you're interested in that, check out the description, and you could watch on Twitch or YouTube. Yeah. Hope you guys like the design that we're going with too. This is going to be like kind of a lot of work for something that's going to end up being very temporary, but I think it'll be good. I think it'll look good in the long run. And then in the next episode, we'll probably get some more of the production going, because we've got a whole other, we're only using one block here. We still have that whole block, and this is 360 here as well. So, we need to make the modular frames. We need to make the reinforced iron plates, all that stuff, right? So that should all be next episode. God, I love the way this looks. I think this is super cool. Yeah, so anyway, thank you all so much. I hope you're enjoying it, and we'll see you in the next one.